What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the desert? What exactly is the environment that comes to mind? For all of us, the first thing that comes to mind is endless piles of sand and the scorching heat of the sun. Deserts can be found on almost every continent. About a third of the Earth's surface is desert. With that little bit of information about deserts, we move on to this vast realm. Are you ready to travel from desert to desert? We are sure you will be surprised to learn about the largest desert at the end of the video. Before we begin, don't forget to like the video and share it with your loved ones. If you are ready with your coffee and in front of your screens, here we go. The Chihuahua Desert, located along the US-Mexico border, is the largest desert on our list, covering 282,000 square kilometers, which is bigger than the state of California. Despite being last on our list, it is still quite sizable. The desert spans across Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, and receives an average annual rainfall of 228 millimeters. Like many deserts around the world, the Chihuahuan Desert is sandwiched between two mountain ranges, so it does not receive rainfall from either the Pacific Ocean or the Gulf of Mexico. Did you know that the Great Basin Desert is a 492,000 square kilometer desert located entirely in the United States? It's pretty unique because it's a cold desert, which means it gets most of its precipitation in the form of snow. The desert includes most of Nevada and parts of Utah, and gets around 150–300 millimeters of rainfall per year. The Great Basin Desert is also a desert with some unusual rocks. In fact, the rocks found in central Nevada in 2009, which have been compared to drops of honey, continue to make it valuable. Did you know that the Syrian Desert covers a whopping 518,000 square kilometers and spans across Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and most of Syria? It's pretty amazing that despite receiving less than 125 millimeters of rainfall per year, highways and oil pipelines now pass through the region. And get this, the Stonehenge of Syria was only discovered in 2009, even though ancient people were able to reach parts of this desert. Pretty cool, huh? And get this, the Stonehenge of Syria was only discovered in 2009, even though ancient people were able to reach parts of this desert. Hey there, I wanted to share some exciting news with you. According to a report from 2012, the area is believed to contain some really interesting stone circles and potentially even tombs. At the beginning of our video, we said that we have encountered deserts on almost every continent. Now we go to the Australian continent. Here we are greeted by the Great Victoria Desert, 647,000 square kilometers in size. The desert covers most of Australia and consists of both parallel sand dunes and some salt lakes. The dunes on the West Australian continental shelf are mostly red sand. As you move further south, their color changes to white. The white color is caused by sand from the coast. The Australian government states that the region has variable and unpredictable rainfall. Due to the harsh natural conditions, there are no large cities in most of the desert. There are Aboriginal lands and conservation areas. One of the biggest ecological threats to the Australian outback is the camel, whose ancestors were imported from India, Afghanistan, and Arabia in the 19th century to work the desert. We continue our trip in South America. We are in the 673,000 square kilometers of the Patagonian Desert. The desert and semi-desert area that covers most of Argentina stretches from the Atlantic Ocean to the Andes Mountains. Most of it consists of treeless plains. This desert, like California's Death Valley, lies within the rain curtain of a high mountain range. In some parts, the average rainfall is extremely low, between 160 and 200 millimeters per year. The Kalahari Desert covers most of South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. The average annual rainfall is less than 500 millimeters. In some areas, it falls below 200 millimeters. The Kalahari was also the scene of human activity thousands of years ago. In an excavation at the Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, archaeologists found evidence of fires lit about 1 million years ago. We continue with the Gobi Desert, which is located in Asia and has a huge area of 1,300,000 square kilometers. Let us give you a small example to understand the size of the Gobi Desert. The Gobi Desert covers more square kilometers than France and Germany combined. We think this example really helps to put things into perspective, because we are talking about a truly incredible size. Covering much of China and Mongolia, the Gobi is arid and barren in places and monsoon-like in others, meaning it has both dry and wet seasons. Average annual precipitation varies from 50 to 200 millimeters, depending on location. Especially the eastern parts receive abundant rainfall during the summer months, as do the regions in the monsoon rain belt. The Gobi Desert is also a very favorable place for dinosaur hunting. A rare Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton found in the region was auctioned off. We are in the Middle East again. The Arabian Desert is 2,300,000 square kilometers, almost twice the size of the former Gobi Desert. Covering Saudi Arabia and surrounding countries such as Oman and parts of Iraq, the aridity and temperature of the desert varies depending on where you are. The interior of the desert has a scorching dry climate with temperatures as high as 54 degrees Celsius. On the coast and in the hills, humidity is high and fog and dew are common during the cooler hours of the day. As we approach the end, the Sahara Desert, at 8,600,000 square kilometers, is so vast that it sends shivers down your spine. To help you understand this enormous size, let's take a small example. The entire continent of Europe is 10,500,000 square kilometers. Surely you have heard of the Sahara Desert. But have you ever imagined its size so clearly? The Sahara is not only famous for its enormous size, but also for its extremely low rainfall. The average annual rainfall in the world's second largest desert is less than 25 millimeters. According to NASA, the eastern parts of the desert receive less than 5 millimeters per year. Although water does not fall on the ground, water droplets form a layer of fog over the desert. Nights in the Sahara are very cold because there is no vegetation to maintain the temperature after sunset. The sudden change in temperature between day and night causes fog to form. Now it's time to visit the largest desert in the world, which we mentioned at the beginning of our video and which will undoubtedly surprise you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video first. Most of us think of deserts as hot, dry, and sandy, but we forget about a cold continent that receives no rain, has no vegetation, and even rain is rare. Antarctica is a desert. With 14,200,000 square kilometers, the Antarctic Desert is the largest desert in the world. Antarctica has also recorded the lowest temperatures on Earth. The recorded temperature was -89.2 degrees Celsius. It is both incredibly large and incredibly cold. The region sees no sunlight for months at a time. It may be hard for people to accept that Antarctica, covered in ice, is a desert. In fact, Antarctica is the world's largest desert because it receives the least amount of rainfall in the world. The average annual precipitation is less than 50 millimeters and consists mainly of snow. Despite the low snowfall, 99% of Antarctica's surface is covered by glaciers. This is because there is almost no evaporation due to the extremely low average temperature. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Share your thoughts and ideas about the video in the comments section. You can also turn on notifications to get more content and be part of our community. See you in the next video.